Hello, I'm Chris Oldland, the Editor-in-Chief of Field Service News, and today I'm delighted to bring you the third and final excerpt from our recent webcast looking at the changing face of the field service engineer. The webcast was based around research that we conducted in partnership with ServiceMax from GE Digital, and across the webcast myself and Kieran Notter, Director of Global Customer Transformation, were looking at the key insights, trends and findings of the research, as well as bringing some context to those insights, especially Kieran bringing in a number of really great case studies across the whole webcast. In this final excerpt, we're going to be looking at how utilising technology can help field service organisations keep attrition rates low.
We've kind of established a number of different pieces along this journey. We've established that we have a challenge with aging workforces. We have established that we need to bring our field service engineers in, what kind of engineers we are looking for, the importance of soft skills, how technology can play a role in attracting those engineers. Of course, the final piece in the puzzle is how do we keep hold of them? A field service engineer is an asset, as we've seen. They're brand ambassadors, and it's not cheap and it's not easy to train these skills, and you want to be keeping the best and the brightest. It's kind of alludes a little bit to what you were saying about the technology, and you don't want to kind of go in and be utilising technology that is not as good as you have in your home lives. So let's have a look at the last kind of part of the section. 80% of the companies, when we said to them, do you agree that harnessing the latest technology is a factor in keeping attrition rates low? They said yes, absolutely. It's something that's there. And I think the key thing here is it's all about empowering our engineers, and it's all about enablement. We want to be really kind of making sure that our engineers have got that work-life balance. Also, of course, it's not just younger engineers coming in, but a large majority of them are going to be millennials, and the difference between the exiting baby boomer workforce and the millennials is perhaps there's never been such a radical shift in industry ever. These are guys that they're Google natives, they're Facebook natives, they appreciate collaboration, they work in a collaborative manner. And they appreciate, it was a really interesting piece of research, anecdotally, that stated that millennials are the first generation that puts work-life balance above financial remuneration. So it's really interesting that the companies see how technology can harness this. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Is this a major factor? Is that the right word? I guess enablement.
Okay.
Have I got that right?
Yeah, I would say it's the enablement. If you take it back to our first slide, right, which is 73% of companies are worried about their aging workforce. The harnessing of the latest technology allows that aging workforce to work for longer.
Yeah.
We've already touched upon the drone, meaning the 60-year-old doesn't have to go up the lift. The fact that they can balance their work life, so they don't have to travel so much. They can work from home. They can do triage, or first line work. And then for the youngsters, again, for the younger, newer generation, the millennials, they want. I mean, unfortunately, there's a good study that shows that millennials aren't looking for a job for life, whereas maybe the aging workforce was when they came out. So they need to be enticed to stay as much as they need to be enticed to join. Yeah. So you need to continue with advances in your technology and your tools. These guys need to learn as much as possible. And then the one thing you really do have to stay away from is the fact that 73% of the technicians there said the bit they love most is fixing a problem.
Yes.
But 46% said they hate the paperwork.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have the technology involved, they have to do this paperwork and potentially have to do it again somewhere else when they have to go and upload it or download it or do the swivel chair operations. And that to them is taking away from their job. Yeah. They became a technician because they wanted to fix something. And then they wanted to fix it with the best tools that are available. So you need to make sure that these things are still there to keep that attrition rate low. And then you can choose, and you can keep the younger generation, or the millennials, the Generation Z, as they come in. You can keep them because you're enticing and continually training. That sort of then moves into something we're saying about the enablement that you said there, and empowering the technician. One of the most important things that we see and we provide here at ServiceMax is the online and offline capability. That is a huge thing for a technician. We talk here, we've got some little headings about scheduling, service delivery and decreased risk because we focus on these things. The technician focuses on these things too for other reasons. the biggest reasons they have about understanding their calendar and their work descriptions is because they know what they're going to do in advance. They know where they're going to go. They know what problems they're going to encounter. So it makes much better balance for them. They can use the IoT diagnostics, as we said, so that they understand and they can look. Everybody wants to look good, right?
Yeah,
it's good for your ego, it's good for everything. So they can go and they can understand what they're going to do before they get there. Fixing a problem before it breaks is one of the best things you can do. So, and the calibration and knowledge base, never do they look short, never do they, not never, but less so that they have to leave going, I can't fix it, I'm going to go and get someone else to help, or whatever. Yeah. They can use the tools to fix these things and resolve the customer's problems, and again, looking good. So then you get to the other side about the compliance and the install-based management. So compliance is very important, health and safety is very important.
Yes.
Yeah? Again, we want to make sure that technicians are safe, and so are the people around them, the users, the operators, etc. So they do that. And the understanding of the install base brings that all back, so they know they're going to go to a machine that they're familiar with, they've been trained on, etc. So it's a huge piece of enablement. And the other thing there is when the back office works, say, from 9 till 5, all these tools allow the technician to be a 24/7 team, if you like.
Yeah,
because they're connected to all of the other people working 24/7. Whereas before they were always a little bit isolated. So they have all of this to enable them to be much better and much more.
Yeah.
And then the debrief. And the reason I bring a debrief up is because I said 46% of the technicians hate paperwork. So if you can do a debrief on the go, you know, you enter your time, you arrive, you enter the time you leave, as it happens, you're not really doing any paperwork.
Yeah, of course.
You're just acknowledging those steps through there. And then once that's done, it's done. You know, we often have technicians saying, when I get home, I want to be home. I don't want to continue working.
Yeah.
So there's a good example. If you can do that, you debrief, you're done. And the great thing about the debrief is you can get the customer to sign off on it. So the customer can sign off it, receive an emailed copy of exactly what happened, which then enhances other areas, like you can give a pro forma invoice. If they understand what's happened and they signed it, then that means you have a clear and easy payment scheme, right? Because they're going to pay. There's no extension to DSO. The customer surveys and data collection. You can trigger customer surveys immediately, which again takes you back to the benefits of customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
And again, we relate that back to revenue, so it is very important. And then integration. So we've got ERP integration again, which stops that double entry for anybody and everybody. It goes straight through. And it also validates, which means you have less keying errors, you have less errors in general, which is again something that's very important to the employee and the customer.
Absolutely.
I mean, here's a brief example of a customer and of GE, right? So this is just a little example, just to run through quickly on again the benefits that they have. So they introduced a system for 3,000 techs in 4 months. Okay. Right, and there's 6,000 techs using it now.
That's not a small challenge.
No, but the interesting thing is, in that 3,000 techs for 4 months, they did not see a dip in productivity or utilisation from the technicians. Okay. So it shows the ease of a good implementation. It shows the ease of how you can introduce a new system, a new system to technicians, a new tool that allows them to be better at what they do. So, part of that means that they've got things like planning and scheduling correct, right? Because you don't want to schedule the wrong technician. So that information goes in, you've got that collected place, and it allows the planners and schedulers to schedule the correct technician, the correct skill set, the correct availability, the correct location, all the correct things, right? You can do that automatically, you can do it assisted, or however you need to do it. And as you can see there, that's increased their utilisation from 69% to 73%. Yeah. Now, 4% doesn't sound a lot to some companies. Other companies, 6,000 technicians.
Exactly. Across that size of workforce, that's a lot of work hours.
Yeah. So you can see there, that's basically saved them $20 million of unbilled costs through better resource utilisation, which is again a huge benefit. Yeah. But the benefit isn't just for them. The benefit again is through to the customer, the end user, either in output, throughput, machine uptime, however you want to do it. When you can utilise these tools to get better improvements for you, they always end up benefiting the customer as well. Yeah. And that's surely where we need to go with these things.
It's interesting because these things are so often the primary driver is improving efficiency, reducing the bottom line. Yet automatically, by doing so, as you kind of alluded to there, you see the CSAT levels go up, And when CSAT levels go up, as you mentioned earlier, the top line goes up as well. So there's this constant win across a number of tiers. It's an interesting case study.
And again, the employee engagement, the employee satisfaction levels is one of the biggest drivers for the customer.
Yeah.
Because if the employee's unhappy, the technician's unhappy, he's not going to be sending a good picture across to the customer.
Okay, and that brings us to the end of this excerpt of the webcast, The Changing Face of the Field Service Engineer. If you're watching this on fieldservicenews.com and you would like to watch the full webcast and access the white paper, then all you have to do is click the link below and apply for a subscription to fieldservicenews.com. And as a thank you for taking the time to apply for your subscription, we'll send you links to either download the webcast or watch it on a private unlisted link exclusively available to subscribers. Plus we'll also send a copy of the white paper directly to your inbox. The form should take you no more than 30 seconds to fill out, and we do offer complimentary subscriptions to anyone that is managing a field workforce. So if you're a service director or service manager, then you're entitled to that complimentary subscription. If you're watching this on one of our other mediums, via YouTube or Vimeo or something else, then click the link below in the video and you will see a link to the original fieldservicenews.com page where you'll find the link to apply for the subscription. But for now, thank you ever so much for taking the time to listen. I hope you found the insights that Kieran and I have been able to dig out from this research useful, and we hope to see you again soon. Take care.